The laughter started the moment I walked into the ballroom. Not the friendly kind, the cruel kind, the kind that makes you wish you could disappear. I stood near the entrance, clutching the small gift bag I had spent weeks saving for. The engagement party of my younger sister, Emily, was in full swing. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead. Expensive suits and elegant dresses filled the room. And then there was me. A worn-out jacket, scuffed shoes, and a life everyone in that room considered a failure. Well, look who finally showed up. My cousin Derek smirked loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. A few people turned, then laughed. Did your GPS accidentally bring you here? This isn't a job fair. More laughter. I forced a smile. I had gotten used to it over the years. Ever since I left town. Ever since my business failed. Ever since people decided my entire worth could be measured by the size of my bank account. I spotted Emily across the room. For a brief second, I hoped she'd come over. Instead, she looked away. That hurt more than Derek's joke. Much more. I quietly moved toward an empty table. Maybe I could survive the evening unnoticed. I was wrong. Hey everybody. Derek suddenly raised his glass. The room grew quiet. My stomach tightened. Whenever Derek got attention, trouble followed. I'd like to welcome our special guest. People looked around. Then his finger pointed directly at me. There he is. The room erupted with chuckles. My cousin Michael, the family legend. Someone laughed. Another person whispered. Derek continued. The only man I know who managed to lose 3 jobs, 1 company, and half his savings before turning 30. More laughter. My face burned. I looked down at the floor. Tell us, Mike, Derek continued, what's your current career title? He paused dramatically. Professional disappointment. The crowd roared. Even some relatives laughed. People I'd grown up with. People who once claimed they loved me. I wanted to leave. Right then. Right there. But I stayed. Because tonight wasn't supposed to be about me. It was Emily's night. Then I noticed someone watching. Standing near the stage. Tall. Athletic. Calm. Emily's fiancé. Ryan Walker. A Navy SEAL. Unlike everyone else, he wasn't laughing. Not even smiling. His eyes remained fixed on Derek. And the expression on his face made me uncomfortable. Because it wasn't amusement. It was anger. The kind of anger a man struggles to hide. But nobody noticed. The mocking continued. My aunt approached. You know, Michael, it's never too late to start over. The words sounded supportive. Until she added, maybe community college could help. Another round of laughter. I nodded politely. Inside, I was breaking. Nobody knew where I'd been for the last 6 years. Nobody knew why I'd disappeared. And nobody knew the promise I made before coming home. I would never tell them. Some sacrifices don't need applause. Some stories aren't meant to be told. At least that's what I believed. Then Emily finally approached. For one hopeful second, I thought she'd defend me. Instead she sighed. Michael, could you try not to make things awkward tonight? I stared at her. What? Derek says you're upset. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He humiliated me. She crossed her arms. It's just jokes. Just jokes. The phrase bullies use when someone finally gets hurt. Something inside me cracked. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just enough. I handed her the gift bag. Congratulations. She glanced at it. A simple silver bracelet. Nothing expensive. Nothing flashy. Her expression revealed immediate disappointment. Oh, just one word. But it said, everything. I smiled anyway, then stepped away. Across the room, Ryan watched the entire exchange. Still silent, still observing. Hours passed. Dinner began. Speeches followed. Then came the moment that changed everything. The host invited family members to share memories about the happy couple. Several relatives stood, told funny stories, received applause. Then Derek grabbed the microphone. Of course he did. He spent most of his speech praising Emily. The rest was spent insulting me. Again. And let's all appreciate Michael for reminding us what happens when life gives you opportunities and you waste every single one. The room exploded with laughter. I lowered my head. Enough. I stood up, ready to leave, ready to disappear from their lives forever. That's when a chair scraped loudly across the floor. The room fell silent. Everyone turned. Ryan Walker was standing. The Navy SEAL fiancé. His jaw was clenched. His eyes locked onto Derek. And for the first time all night, he spoke. That's enough. His voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. The room instantly became silent. Derek laughed nervously. Relax, man. We're just having fun. Ryan didn't smile. No. He stepped forward. You're humiliating a good man. Confused whispers spread across the ballroom. Emily looked stunned. Derek forced a laugh. You barely know him. Ryan's expression hardened. Oh. He paused. Trust me. I know him better than any of you. The room froze. And suddenly every eye turned toward me. Because I looked just as shocked as everyone else. Ryan slowly walked toward me. Then something happened that nobody expected. Nobody. Not even me. He stopped directly in front of me. Stood perfectly straight. And raised his hand in a military salute. The entire ballroom gasped. You could hear a pin drop. Ryan held the salute. His voice echoed across the room. With all due respect. His eyes never left mine. This man saved my life. For several seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The entire ballroom seemed frozen in time. Ryan's salute remained steady. My heart pounded. I hadn't seen him in years. And I certainly hadn't expected this. Ryan, I whispered. You don't have to do this. His answer came immediately. Yes, I do. The room erupted with confused murmurs. Emily looked from Ryan to me and back again. What is he talking about? Derek laughed nervously. This has to be some kind of joke. Ryan slowly lowered his hand. Then turned toward the crowd. A joke? His voice was calm. What's happened here tonight is the joke. Nobody interrupted. Nobody dared. Ryan continued. You've spent the entire evening mocking a man you don't understand. His eyes swept across the room. You judged him because of his clothes. Silence. You judged him because he doesn't brag about money. More silence. And you judged him because he never tells anyone what he's done. I wished he would stop. Not because he was wrong. Because I knew where this was going. And I never wanted attention. Especially not for that. Emily stepped closer. Ryan, what are you talking about? He looked at her gently. Your brother isn't a failure. Then his expression hardened again. He's the bravest man I've ever met. Gasps echoed through the ballroom. Derek rolled his eyes. Oh, come on. Ryan turned toward him. You really want to know who Michael is? Derek shrugged. Sure. Ryan nodded. Then listen carefully. The room became silent once again. 5 years earlier, a military transport helicopter had crashed during a humanitarian mission overseas. Ryan had been part of the operation. The situation became disastrous within minutes. The aircraft caught fire. Communication systems failed. Several people were trapped, including Ryan. At the time, I had been working for an international relief organization nearby. Nobody in this room knew that, because I never told them. The helicopter came down less than a mile from our camp. Everyone else waited for emergency teams. I didn't. I ran toward the flames. Ryan looked around the room. He went into that fire 3 times. Shock spread across every face. 3 times. Nobody laughed anymore. The ballroom was completely silent. Ryan continued. The first time he rescued 2 crew members. The second time he pulled out a medic. His voice grew quieter. The third time, he paused. The third time he came back for me. I closed my eyes. The memories returned instantly. Smoke, heat, screaming, chaos. I remembered finding Ryan pinned beneath twisted metal. I remembered the fuel leaking. I remembered knowing the aircraft could explode at any moment. Ryan's voice trembled slightly. I told him to leave. The room listened. I told him I wasn't worth dying for. His eyes met mine. He ignored me. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Ryan continued. He dragged me out seconds before the helicopter exploded. Several guests looked stunned. One woman covered her mouth. Another wiped tears from her eyes. Emily stared at me in disbelief. Ryan wasn't finished. Michael suffered serious injuries. I looked away. He continued anyway. Burns. The room gasped. Broken ribs. More shocked expressions. A damaged shoulder. Then came the part that changed everything. The medical bills destroyed his finances. Silence. The business everyone mocked tonight. Ryan looked directly at Derek. It failed because he spent everything helping other survivors recover. Nobody spoke. Nobody could. The truth hit the room like a tidal wave. All those years. All those assumptions. All those cruel jokes. Built on complete ignorance. Emily's eyes filled with tears. No, she whispered. No, that's not possible. I finally spoke. It happened. She looked at me. You never told us. I smiled sadly. You never asked. Those words struck harder than anything else. Her shoulders slumped. My mother began crying quietly. My father stared at the floor. For the first time in years, nobody seemed interested in judging me. Ryan stepped beside me. Do you know what happened after he saved us? No one answered. He refused every interview. He refused awards. He refused publicity. Ryan shook his head. He disappeared. Someone whispered. Why? Ryan smiled. Because he said heroes were the people who didn't make it home. The room became emotional. Several guests wiped away tears. Derek suddenly looked uncomfortable. For the first time all evening, he had nothing clever to say. Nothing sarcastic. Nothing at all. Then Emily walked toward me. Slowly. Carefully. As if she were seeing me for the first time. Tears streamed down her face. I'm sorry. I didn't answer immediately. Because part of me still hurt. Years of hurt don't disappear in seconds. She stopped in front of me. I'm so sorry, Michael. The room watched. My sister, who had ignored me all night. My sister, who had believed everyone else. Now crying openly. I should have been there for you. Her voice broke. I should have asked. I finally nodded. And hugged her. The ballroom erupted into applause. Not because anyone deserved forgiveness. But because healing had finally begun. Then something unexpected happened. My father stood. A man who rarely showed emotion. A man who believed apologies were weaknesses. He walked across the room, stopped in front of me, and said 6 words I never thought I'd hear. I was wrong about you, son. I felt my throat tighten. Those words meant more than any award, more than any recognition, more than any applause. One by one, relatives approached. Some apologized. Others simply shook my hand. A few cried. Derek remained alone near the stage. Finally he walked over. His confidence was gone. His smile was gone. Only regret remained. I didn't know. I nodded. I know. He looked ashamed. I'm sorry. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then I offered my hand. He shook it. And just like that, years of bitterness began to fade. The engagement party continued. But everything had changed. People weren't talking about money anymore. Or status. Or success. They were talking about character. About sacrifice. About kindness. As the night came to an end, Ryan approached me once more. Still mad at me? He smiled. I laughed. A little. He grinned. Worth it. I looked around the room. At my family. At Emily. At everyone who finally understood. And for the first time in years, I felt like I was home. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't proving people wrong. It's showing them who you really are. And giving them a chance to become better because of it. The end.